Hello, Bull Run! Thank you for tuning in to this week's virtual edition of the Bull Run Elementary School Morning News. First, let's go to Caitlin to get a check of the weather.
Thanks, Antonella. Today's weather will feel like summer is here with a high of 87 degrees and clouds. We can expect a sunny weekend with a high of 82 degrees on Saturday and 73 degrees on Sunday. Now to Kate for a segment called Ask Miss Shahidi.
Thanks for joining us today, Ms. Shahidi.
It's my pleasure.
So my first question for you is, what is your favorite meal you've cooked recently?
So I feel a little bit like a short order cook because I've had to cook so many different things for my kids, and it's a nonstop thing. But my favorite thing that I've been doing is bread, probably. In fact, I have a couple of loaves of French baguettes rising right now for dinner tonight. But I also got onto the old sourdough bread kick too. So I've got some sourdough in my refrigerator that I pull out sometimes. So probably like baking and bread because I do that with my son Samuel, and we really enjoy that.
That's awesome. We also have sourdough, and my mom also feels like she cooks all the time. But my second question for you is, what are some exercises you've been doing to stay active?
So I started off with a quarantine walking and doing yoga and things like that, but then I fractured my ankle. So I was in a boot for a little bit. I just got that off and have just like a little ankle support thing now. So I'm hoping next week I can start walking again. So in the meantime, I've just been doing some yoga that I don't have to do a lot of standing for, and just kind of keeping stretched a little bit.
Well, that's good to hear that you're feeling better. And my last question for you is, what's something fun you've been doing in your free time?
So I have been gardening like crazy. My son actually built me some raised beds this year to try to help with weeds and things like that. And so I'm calling this my victory garden. And I don't know, Kate, have you ever heard of a victory garden?
I haven't.
So victory gardens were started in World War I and World War II. And residents would build gardens with like herbs and vegetables and fruits and things like that at their houses, or even in public parks and things like that in like the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, Canada, places like that. They all kind of started them, and they were encouraged to do that because there wasn't a lot of food around during the war. So I'm calling this my victory garden because my oldest son really likes history, and so he keeps joking because I just keep planting even more things. And I probably have, 10 or 15 tomato plants going in different ways, containers and beds and all different types of foods that I'm just trying, some just a little. Like my son, I wanted him to see how corn grows or how a bean grows. So we did some different crops like that, just a few little plants just so he can see. But it's kind of fun. We go out every night to see if our lettuce seeds have taken out, and they just are like this tiny right now. They just popped out of the ground. So it's exciting to kind of watch the things grow every day. So that's been what we have been doing as a family for our entertainment. But it's going to be a great, we hope, a great harvest during the whole summer. So it'll be a fun thing to watch.
Well, girls, look at that. We all learned something. Thank you, Ms. Shahidi. And now to tune in with this week's quarantine hobby.
This week, we are excited to show you some quarantine hobby videos.
Something that I have been doing for quarantine hobbies is I have been practicing my instruments. Bye.
I like playing in the rain. Hi, look at the bird.
Antonella, I've been thinking about the riddle you shared all week, and I can't wait to know the answer.
That was tricky, wasn't it? So just to rewind and refresh, last week's riddle was, what was given to you belongs to you exclusively and is used by others more than is used by yourself. Do you all have any guesses?
No, that's hard.
Yeah.
The answer is your name. You didn't think that would be the answer, did you?
No, that's hard.
Today's new riddle is even trickier than last week, so you have to pay attention for this one. What has no beginning, end, or middle? Tune in next week to find the answer.
Thanks, Antonella. We hope you've had plenty of time to read some great books. I know I'm looking for recommendations of some new books to read. So here's Book Talk Friday with Mrs. Brown.
So this graphic novel is called Nat Enough, and it's kind of play on words because the main character's name is Natalie. But my daughter is here because she just finished this. The Easter Bunny brought her this book, and so she's here to talk a little bit about it, and hopefully you enjoy it.
This book is about a girl named Natalie who has had a best friend, Lily, and once they got into middle school, then some reason Lily stopped hanging out with her. Then she secretly got a letter and it says, I'm going to start hanging out with cooler people. That means not you. And Lily's changed and thinks she's cool, but she's really not just because she's trying to act cool.
And that made Natalie feel like she wasn't enough for a friend. So this book is about, and there's humor in it. This book is about really finding out who you are as a person and what makes you you and your good qualities and what makes a good friend. And so Natalie kind of finds her voice and figures out who she is and who true friends are. Check it out.
Thanks, Mrs. Brown. Now to you, Kate.
Next week's focus for the Positivity Project is perseverance. Perseverance means that you complete what you start despite all the obstacles you run into. You work towards a goal and you never give up. To show perseverance, you can think to yourself, I can do this, and hard work pays off.
Thank you for joining us for the Bull Run Morning News. Make sure to join us next Friday. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.